I think another reason that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Drew, but I think another reason they probably were trying to keep information away from the public, i.e., the families too, is I'm sure you have probably thought about if you got information on who did this, doing a number
Yeah.
Oh,
on.
I've said stupid things to these cops plenty of times. They're not going to tell me until this person's in handcuffs.
Right.
Yeah.
Because everyone. I'm not that way, but
I feel the same way though.
I'm so upset where you say stupid stuff. Like if I get my hands on this guy, but in all reality, I don't know if
him getting justice. Him getting justice is the ultimate. That's where you want him to be.
Mm-hmm.
Standing and being judged by his peers.
And I want to know what happened.
Yes.
I want to know why, and how, and what were the mistakes that were made, and then how can we take and learn something from this and make it better for the next parent? Because this is just going to keep happening until these people are taken away and we don't let them back in society, which is a whole nother topic. I'm not going to get into that. But until we deal with the real root of the problem, we're going to have to deal with this.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say that like that, but it's not going away when they catch this guy, because there's 1,000 more of them out there.
They all don't cross that line. But yeah, I 100% agree with everything you said about that.
It also
Katie,
makes.
Did you just farmer snot?
No, I have a tissue. No, farmer snot.
I was gonna say, Matt, I'm gonna marry her. You don't get it. Girl that farmer snot like that.
The weather being so. The weather being back and forth. Oh, I do that though.
Like you went,
I'll be out walking my dog and I'll just because the weather being so back and forth here is it's awful. Like it gets me so congested constantly because it was
60 degrees yesterday.
Oh, nice.
And now it's gonna snow. I don't know if you know this, up to 18 inches this weekend. So it's absolutely. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous the back and forth that there is here. It feels like spring one day, and then the next day it feels like dead of winter. So
sounds like around here, we just never know what we're gonna get. Yeah. One day it's nice, the next day it's terrible.
So I'm
gonna sidetrack your guys. You gotta keep me focused.
No. I just sort of like
say something. That looked great. I hope you can send me a video of just that.
Oh, I'll walk our dog, and then I'll just do that for you and send it to you. I'll be like, that's for Drew, but I do that. I try to hide it from Matt. I can't take it sometimes.
That's like how does a Pollock pick their nose?
How? Oh God.
I got dumber jokes than that. Okay, let's get serious.
That's a B-roll.
You need a little relief, just the tension once in a while.
It's true.
We can't just talk about doom and gloom all the time. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise my head will explode.
Yeah, no, we're down for joking whenever. So you said something a little earlier about maybe this guy isn't operating in, his home state. Maybe he's a traveler, maybe it's across the Midwest. There's a guy, and I know you've heard of him, Jeff Altmaier, I believe that's how it's said.
Yes.
Has been convicted of luring girls into his car to abduct them. And he's been operating across at least a little bit of a, expansive area. What is your opinion of,
I don't think this person is going to go backwards. And we talked about that a little bit before, where I think it's a progression with these people. Like maybe they start out molesting. I don't think they're going to kill someone and then the next person they victimize, they're going to let go. That's kind of going backwards.
Yeah,
I agree.
So, I don't have anything that gets Jeff Altemeyer that I know of that gets him up this far into Iowa.
Yeah.
But how many guys like Altemeyer you think are out there?
That's
Like,
what's disturbing.
they
Or
just drive around
Clunder.
and they hunt. They hunt for that one. They might go hunting 5 or 6 times before they even get anybody or more. They're just looking for that perfect opportunity where no one's around. They're not going to get caught. And like I said, they live in this fantasy world.
I agree. That was a very good point.
And the working backwards thing is important because you're right with the crimes that have been committed that he's done since the murder of your daughter and Lyric. That would be kind of working backwards for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't see somebody taking it to that point and then the progression of it not getting worse as they're going. That's almost like I'm getting better as I'm getting healthier as I'm doing this, and I'm not going to kill him this time. I just don't think it works in that direction.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, I agree.
So looking at some of these other questions, so I mean, this is a fairly easy question to answer, but there could be multiple answers. Why do you believe law enforcement is still withholding information after 10 years? Because 10 is a long time. 5, 4, 3, it's, you can kind of want to preserve the integrity of the case, but 10 is way too long.
I don't think our investigators care about the time as much as they care about the integrity of the case.
Yeah.
They're very patient.
And that is probably what's going on in Delphi too. It's sort of a situation of, as people who feel emotional connections to these cases with the victims' families, we want justice fast, and sometimes justice doesn't come fast, and so we just kind of have to do our best to stand beside them and be supportive and not be being overly vocal about how long they're taking, because we want the case to be good, right?
You guys, I volunteer at the Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I talk to parents, mostly runaways, but I've had a couple cases. Without going into personal things about some of the people I've helped, a lot of these people have been waiting since the 80s and have no answers. I mean, so it really kind of puts me back and kind of humbles me a little bit,
Yeah.
When I talk to them, it's like they've been waiting. I have a friend that's been waiting since the early 80s, and he's never found anything. And that could be what happens here. I don't know what's going to happen. But you just keep pushing.
Yep.
And hope that that's not your situation, but that could be, because like you said, 40% or something of these don't get solved.
Yep.
And
that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not eventually solved, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, only up to 60% are solved swiftly. Other ones seem to take a long amount of time, or take an amount of time that some would consider as possibly taking too long.
And we also have to remember that other cases are happening.
Yeah. Yep.
So life is still going on for other people.
Yep.
Whether I'm in a hurry for this to get solved, I mean, they still have other cases coming in that are as important. So those cases have to be worked too. So, every time I see another case like this hit Iowa, obviously I cringe. I just think it's, another one, and it's going to be even longer. But,
yeah,
that's another family that's going through this too.
Yeah.
But they can get solved after a long time. You look at like the April Tinsley case,
Yep.
and you know they caught him.
I think
And
that the way this new DNA stuff that's coming out, the touch DNA, I think they call it familiar DNA, where
Yep.
they
Mhm.
if they have some DNA but don't have the suspect's DNA, they can cross check it through cousins or relatives. That's great.
Yeah.
And we're at the cusp. We're just learning about this stuff, so it's going to do nothing but get better from here. So for all these people that are out here doing this crap, um,
Yeah, it's going to be a big problem coming for them.
I just can't wait. Whenever I see this stuff, um, it just gives me hope. I, I think ours is going to get solved. I think Delphi is going to get solved.
Yep.
But it's just going to be when it happens. It's not going to be on our time.
Well, yeah, DNA has really only been in the stages it is since about the 90s. I think it was around O.J. Simpson's case.
We're just learning.
So now we're maybe 25 years into this, and it's gone like crazy. Nowadays.
How many new DNA technologies are you hearing about? It's just crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
These people can't hide forever.
No, they got away with it for a while,
But the other thing that I think is important, almost especially recently, as important as some of the work that police are doing, is putting constant pressure and exposure to these cases, because things like that have worked in other cases. Like you look at the Kristen Smart case, the guy did Your Own Backyard podcast, and the stuff that he kept it in the forefront. That podcast was really popular. And now, they're close to convicting someone, or I guess they have, I haven't looked at it, but Paul Flores, they're pretty much now saying that, he did it. And then the, Luca Magnotta, like, don't fuck with cats, that was solved by somebody on the internet. And it's just people just like constantly looking at these cases and constantly theorizing and constantly just what if, and at a certain point it's going to make somebody or something come out of the woodwork. In my opinion,
time and technology are not on their side.
Yeah.
These
correct.
I mean, new things are coming all the time, and it's just gonna be an explosion as far as the way that, I mean, they're going to be able to go back and solve old cases. If they can get, a lot of it is going to be money. On some of these cases, they've got probably already enough to solve some of these, but I mean, the testing is
very expensive.
Money, and and then you got whether they're going to put the effort to solving these other cases. I mean, I think a lot of them they're going back on, and they're using today's technology, and if they've saved certain things like they should have, then I think a lot of these
and you see a lot of these
solved.
cases doing this now. They're kind of being solved because they're going back over old evidence, and people are being cleared and released from prison because they were wrongfully committed, so are convicted, and that is a good thing. That can only help the science of things and help law enforcement to kind of narrow things down onto some of these suspects who have kind of gone under the radar. But
I agree. It's coming.
It is.
So what's something that you want people to know about Elizabeth? Just about her as a person, and in general, aside from all of what's happened and transpired.
Just how happy she was, and how bubbly, and just loving.
Yeah.
And she was just full of it. And Lyric and her,
they were best friends.
Loved each other so much.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
That this is how this ended. And those girls deserved to grow up. Elizabeth would be 18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it breaks my heart. I'm not going to get into my backstory too much, but like I'm a sex abuse survivor as well as a child, and I was involved in a different situation than everything that's kind of happening in a lot of these cases. But we all have our reasons for why we do the things we're doing, and
we all. I mean, it's. What are you going to be part of the solution or part of the problem? And it's with our
exactly.
kids. I mean, we have got to do something different than what we're doing.
Yep, I 100% agree.
When somebody gets arrested for a drug charge, we have minimum maximums. They have this amount of time they got to serve, and they slam the book at them,
Yeah.
and it's for a plant. And
Yeah.
then somebody hurts a child.
Yep.
And they get probation.
Yep.
Or a slap on the wrist, and they just get better at hiding what they do.
Exactly.
Like if now, Matt, I know obviously this isn't true, but if you're attracted to 10-year-old little boys, and I send you to prison for a year or two, when you get out of prison, are you still going to be attracted to 10-year-old boys?
Well, yeah, I don't think it ends for these people. And, if they're not receiving therapy, and psychiatric medications, things that kind of regulate these issues that they're having, they're never going to stop. And it's a difficult thing to fix. You can fix someone with addiction. You can fix someone who has, financial issues, who steals money. But these cases are psychiatric in nature, a lot of them, and without that sort of help, I don't think that these people can be rehabilitated properly. So you're right,
Matt. They have rabies.
Yeah, they do.
What do you do with the dog with rabies?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we should give these people a second chance to offend.
I agree.
What does that do? That one offense to that child, what does that do to that child's life? That every child deserves to be able to grow up safe without worrying about somebody sexually abusing them, murdering them, taking them, doing anything to them. And if you hurt a child,
yeah, you've lost your ability to be in a civilized situation with
and they
anybody.
just let them out. They
Yeah.
just let them out. And by the way, he has a strong possibility to reoffend.
Right.
They even come out and tell you that strong.
Well, it's overwhelming. That's why they're releasing that to the public. That your kind of the civilians are kind of given the forcing to watch these individuals when they're released back to their community, and that's not necessarily a fair.
My one of my bosses, actually old bosses, was a sex offender, and committed an offense on a 5-year-old, and they let him out, and he is back in the community around here. We don't necessarily have to put this in the broadcast, but he owns a multi-million-dollar corporation now, actually selling these shirts that he made. Have you ever seen the shirts that have the states on them and then it says home? Like it'll have like North Carolina, or it'll have Iowa.
I think
or
I
something,
have.
and it'll say home on it. He started that here in Greensboro. And he raped a 5-year-old.
I mean,
and
honestly, you guys, who thinks about having sex with a 5-year-old?
Yeah.
there is nothing
No,
you can do for that person.
Nope.
no, I agree. Monsters, people that are extremely unwell and can't.
I'm sure you heard the news about James Bryan Chadwell getting 90 years for what he did to that girl, and
He's never coming out.
they need to be locked up perpetually. And
Absolutely.
you know,
I mean, anybody can look at that situation and look at that man.
Yep. Yeah.
But I mean, the people making the laws, what are they doing? What are we doing?
I agree.
What are we doing? We can't let our kids out and play.
Yep.
Without worrying about somebody taking them and killing them. And left out for birds or dogs to eat.
Well, there's been a shift too. You know, if you know, even me looking back to the 80s when I was a child, I was of a minority that was involved in that sort of situation, or at least publicly I was. But something has shifted.
You're put into you're shamed.
Yeah.
As a victim, you're shamed.
Yeah.
So you're victimized over and over again.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you have to live with the torment of everything that happened as well. And so
then why did it happen to me? Did I do something to make that happen?
Yep. So it's a dark road that these people don't really realize that they're imposing on these children.
Well, they're not thinking about it because they don't care.
Yeah.
You know what? Like I was talking about, they live in this fantasy land. When they're done with that kid, and as far as their fantasy goes, it's time to get rid of that kid.
Yeah.
They don't need the kid, that part of that fantasy anymore. It's time to get rid of the kid because they're already done with that point. So these they don't think the same way we do.
It's really sad.
Which is, now that you sort of mentioned that, it's just sort of interesting to think about the types of offenders that there are. Let's say in your case, and then like in Delphi, where ultimately it seemed like the murder in Delphi was the ultimate goal. It wasn't, there was no sexual.
Think about that.
That's so sick, you know.
Think
not
about that there not even being a sexual component, and all it is about controlling another human being.
Yep.
Holding control over them, torturing them.
Yep.
And then ultimately
not giving them back.
Yeah.
You know,
murdering them and being over control of that other human being. It's not about sex, even though they might have some little bit of sexual thing with it, but it might just not even be sexual at all. It might just be somebody that wants to torture and have that control over another human's life and then ultimately take it.
And it's also the same for your case in the sense that you have even less information about the time period in between. You know what I mean?
I don't know how long they were alive for.
Exactly. And with Delphi, it was more just like abduction, killing, and then that was it.
Very fast.
But with you, it's
statistically, like you read, Kate, it's over within a couple hours.
Yeah.
And like I said, once that child isn't needed for their part of the fantasy, they don't need them anymore.
Well, and then that situation has now brought, you know, obviously all killers have a starting point, but it brings them past this threshold that they can't go back on anymore. They've not only have they crossed these unnatural lines with all of their actions, but then to take another person's life, I think is just you can never come back from that. You see people come back from war and stuff like that, and they're just a shell of who they were. And I believe that a lot of these killers, you know, going through the motions and victimizing these people, that they also lose the element that they were pretending to the world that they looked like eventually. So they end up like Ted Bundy, and they end up like these big monstrous people, where at one point there was there was at least some semblance of like, I know I shouldn't be doing this, and I just pray to God that there are no more, that this perpetrator is going to victimize other people with, because knowing that he's somewhere out there is terrifying. Breathing
And
the
now
same air.
remember, our cases aren't connected, so there's 2.
Yep.
Yeah, at least.
I mean, there's more. Way.
It's a pandemic. It's an epidemic.
And
This,
we have a war on drugs.
Yep.
Why is there no war on pedophilia?
I agree.
And it's a sick answer, you guys. And you don't have to put this in your video, but I'll tell you what it is. It's the people in charge.
Some of them are
fucking pedophiles.
Yeah. I think that's the big problem here, is that we're going to find.
So why are they going to make laws tougher on themselves? They're all pedophiles, you guys.
Can't.
I mean, people have no clue. The deeper you go down the rabbit hole, guys, and see all these people, who they are and what they are and what they're doing behind the scenes with kids,
mm-hmm.
You'll see that our own government is doing this shit.
Yep.
The people in our government. And they work together doing it, moving kids around, sharing kids.
That's the human component.
This is very controversial. You don't have to put this in here.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, the people in our government are very involved in pedophilia. And the elites are very into pedophilia.
It's seeming that way with the Epstein stuff.
Yep.
You know what adrenochrome is?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yep.
These people are adrenochrome junkies. And you guys might think I'm crazy.
I don't think you're crazy.
No, not at all.
But I've had nothing else to do for 10 years but look and open my eyes. And you have to let yourself, because some of it's so fucked up, man. You just like, it takes you time to really process it, because it's hard to accept that maybe people in the government are into this shit. But
Kate and I have had some deep discussions, and I've been in some bad places in my mind where I thought, the world can't be like this. It can't really be like this, but it is, and it's a hard pill to swallow.
do you guys realize that the business of child slavery, like the trade of children,
mm-hmm.
is bigger than drugs?
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, I do too.
Most people think that's fucking a farce. Most people, when you tell them that, they look at you like you're nuts, because they know how big drugs is. But the thing about when they take a child, not that this is our case,
right?
When they take a child and they traffic them,
yeah, you
can reuse that child over and over.
Yeah,
it's not like a bag of Coke. Once it's sniffed, it's gone. You can reuse that and over and over and over.
Right.
And they don't care how many times they don't care if a child's had sex already 10 times that day or whatever. It's money.
It's sad.
And it's, I mean, we're far out here, guys. I understand that, but I think that this is gonna just continue and continue and continue, like until we start seeing some politicians going down. I'm gonna be thinking we have no hope.
So is this a human thing, do you think?
A human condition?
Yeah, is this a human issue? Is this an issue with the way humans are made up? That they they go down these roads like this. I'm not saying the unnatural thoughts, but I mean, it seems like a lot of people are prisoners to excess.
Okay. You said you'd been a victim yourself.
Yep.
You have a choice, Matt.
True.
You could have just gone out and victimized some other people and dealt with it that way. And so a lot of these people that have been victimized, say if I'm a victimizer, I have, say, 300 victims. Okay. How many of those victims are going to go victimize somebody? It's like a spider web.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And some of them aren't. Like you're doing something positive. You're taking your shit and you're flipping it upside down and you're using it against the people that, not necessarily people that did it to you, but people like what did it to you, right?
Yeah, I didn't get
down.
justice, and my parents didn't really step up during the situation, so it there was a multi-tier of issues going on in my family life growing up, and so things kind of got overlooked. And they always use the excuse, well, it was a different time then, but it was fucked up then, and it's fucked up now. And
exactly, it doesn't make it any less fucked up.
You're flipping it upside down.
I have to, or else I would be consumed by this.
That's what God wants us to do.
Yes.
Right?
I believe
God
that.
wants us to take the bad in our life and turn it into good for Him, right?
Yep.
Not everyone is going to do that. A lot of people, they're going to have victims themselves, and then those people will have victims, and then those people will have victims, and so on and so on and so on.
Well, some people feel like they're owed something because this happened to them. So it's like you're owed doing a horrible thing because something bad has happened to you almost.
Well, they use that as an excuse for why they're re-victimizing people. And that to me is just so far from everything that we were born to be. Instinctually and morally, we're in a society that does not accept that. And spiritually, it destroys lives, and it destroys the lives of the victim and the victimizer as well, to just perpetually keep doing what he's doing and keep victimizing more and more.
How many girls, I mean, if you talk, I mean, I talk to girls about this stuff, like adults,
Yeah.
And it's shocking. Like, I've talked to a lot of girls, and like, how many of them were molested by an uncle or a stepbrother or their stepdad or mom's boyfriends they were coming and going all the time. And it just wrecks these kids.
Yep.
It literally just wrecks them, and they think they did something wrong, and it affects their whole life. Like, my sister was molested by my dad's best friend when I was a kid, and I didn't know about it until all this shit happened. She had this shit buried so deep in her, and no one knew it until she came out and told us. And we couldn't believe it. This guy was like family to us, and my dad's best friend. But
they put on a good facade.
They have a way of manipulating. I mean, they're master manipulators.
Yeah.
They have to be a master manipulator, otherwise they get caught. So they're manipulators.
Right.
So they know how to manipulate these kids. Oh, everyone's gonna call you a slut, or your mom and dad are gonna be mad that you had sex. We're gonna get in trouble. They have all these ways of manipulating people. They're master manipulators, and that's how they get these kids too. Like, they get them online. They pretend like they're a girl. They manipulate.
Right.
And then, let's meet up. Your parents don't need to know. They, who knows how they do it, but they manipulate, and they don't stop. That's all. Their whole life is manipulating people, lying, living this fake life that they have, and it's just insane.
It's interesting that you brought up the fake life and stuff because in the recent Delphi case with Keegan Kline and that affidavit, it repeatedly shows that he did not ever stop. This continued all the way from 2015, and he just victimized numerous people. He created these profiles to talk to girls and to manipulate them, and spoke to other like-minded individuals and was sharing images of them. So yeah.
And where does it stop? Where does it stop with this guy?
I don't
and
think
everyone
it does.
has that. Okay, I'm only going to go to this level, but they, like you said, they talk to each other. We're both into this. It's very secretive kind of thing.
Yep.
And we're sharing this. I'll share with this.
It's like a pact.
In the scenario that with the Keegan Kline thing, recently I had proposed just this theory that someone that was a murderer and only a murderer was using the ruse of child pornography as a shield to get him what he wanted, to go out and murder these girls. Because, like, what is the witness who's a child porn ring guy going to do? Tell on him? Like, what happens? He's going to get arrested too.
That's what it's seeming more like. This case is going to go in that direction, that individual was talking to a pedophile to set the meeting up, and it's really sad and scary.
I hope they figure this out for those people.
Too. And we're gonna do everything in our power to lift the story of your girls up.
Yep.
And to get the world noticing it as much as we can. We'll go to the same extents that we went.
We're known for
everything else we do.
Bugging some people for questions.
Awesome.
So we definitely poke around where we shouldn't.
I did that once.
Fairly often.
Man. You better take that out of there.
We will.
You guys got me laughing and crying.
It's okay.
What's wrong with you people?
It's okay. We just we really appreciate talking to you. I know it got pretty personal. We're gonna go over everything and kind of break it apart.
Whatever I said in there, there's nothing that I care what you say. What I say is what I say. You use as much of it or as little of it as you want. I stand by everything I say.
Okay.
Everything right down to telling you guys that the people that are running our government are fucking pedophiles.
I will
I'm not afraid
include.
to even say it. I don't care.
We will find a way to put as much of this as we can.
I can show you shit. I mean, it's there. People have to look. They have to open their eyes and look and see what's going on. You can't just walk around like this all the time.
Yeah.
Pretending like this shit ain't happening because it doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what everyone has done, and no one thinks this is going on, and then it's at the root of these people, like of how they make their money, how they can. I mean, it's
scary to think of in the least. It's scary to think that there statistically are people in a position of power who have these types of urges. And
they went into Haiti. They went into Haiti when they had that hurricane, and they were taking kids from Haiti and trafficking them.
That's so bad.
Not people that you haven't heard of. I'm talking about big names.
Yeah.
And they got caught, and our media doesn't cover it. Why? Because this media is owned by the same assholes. Right. They tried taking those kids out of Haiti, and they had parents looking for them.
Yeah.
They did not have parents. They had parents looking for them, and they were trying to take them out of there. They do that all over the place.
It's terrible. It's terrible. And hopefully we can get some of these guys behind bars.
And then they pass them around between their friends at parties.
Scary.
I'll die by that.
Have you heard of the Franklin cover-up?
No.
You should look into that.
Send it to me.
Okay. It's there was a guy named Larry King, not Larry King, the the news guy.
I'm gonna go pee for a minute.
Okay.
Just
For
keep
a
going.
minute?
Yeah, for a minute.
God, that's a long
Should
time
I?
to be
Should
in,
I?
dude.
Yeah.
Better get checked out.
So Larry King was this guy. He was a black guy, and this was, I think it was in the was it the 80s? And there was all of this stuff and these theories about meetings that some of the elites had at Bohemian Grove, if you've heard of that.
Absolutely.
And
They're all pedophiles.
And they were basically, he was one of the main guys that was running one of these trafficking rings, where there was all sorts of fucked up shit that they had said that was going on there. Like,
why are there presidents, CEOs, presidents, senators, all these assholes going to places like that? Why are all these assholes going to Pedophile Island? And then our news doesn't even pretend it's not even happening. They try to talk about other things that are going on in the news that don't mean shit.
Yeah.
And they don't give that any coverage. Why and who? Everyone should be demanding to know who was on that list and who was going to that island.
And Bohemian Grove is a real place. Like, it totally is. And they've even talked about the Bushes going there, and the whole, I'm sure you've heard the whole thing about the big owl with the
absolutely.
Yeah.
they're pedophiles, and you know what they do? They have these parties and they dress up in these fucking crazy outfits, and they let these kids loose in the woods, and then they go hunt them down and fucking kill them.
Yeah, that's part of the Franklin cover-up stuff with Larry King. There's a big element of that,
and these are the people running our government, and we can't figure out why. We can't stop what's going on.
I'll send you a link to that,
and I can figure this out.
There's a lot of info. There's like a couple books that have been written on it, but yeah, Larry King and the Franklin cover-up. I'll send you the info on that. It's interesting to say.
It's a game. It's a game they play. That's just one of the things that they do with them. They molest them. They share them. They trade them.
Yeah.
They're like property to them. They're just like, it's just like owning something to them. They think they're above the rest of us. Our kids are at their disposal. And my case has got nothing to do with this stuff, I'm sure. But how can we solve it when the people in charge are doing it?
Yeah.
We're not.
It's true. And, even if we're not looking too deep into it, there's enough evidence there to kind of question what the hell is going on when you see people like Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and Bill Clinton going on his planes, and other celebrities kind of going out there. Prince Andrew
and then anybody that comes forward ends up killing themselves.
Right.
Yep.
It's an epidemic. Yeah. All these people killing themselves.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah. Is there anything you'd like to say to our fans or the people who watch our stuff?
I would say just keep fighting for our kids. It's not just about the Indiana kids or the Evansdale kids. It's about all of our kids. Mm-hmm. And it's about bringing it back to where our kids can be kids again and be safe. Yeah. And getting these people away from our kids and locked up where they belong. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just feel like, life is hard. And, you get this little bit of time in your life to be a kid.
Yep.
And do kid things and enjoy that time of your life before you become an adult. And these people come in and steal that, not only from you and your family, but they steal it from the kids. But they stole way more than that from us. Yeah. I can't begin to tell you what's been taken. That can never be replaced.
Yeah. And we're all really sorry, and we're standing with you. We support you. And and we love you, and I'm thankful that you took the time to talk to us for this length of time. It means a lot to me, and
It means a lot to me.
you know, you have our phone number to call me, and we will stay in touch. We're going to run that group together, and
we're not gonna stop. We're gonna poke at people. We're gonna keep
Let's do
asking
it.
questions.
we're a pain in the ass, so
We are. We're known as being pains in the ass. So
I'm kind of known for that too.
It's good. It's good.
A real pain in the ass is what people say. I guess I don't know.
I don't think you are.
We're the good kind of butt pains.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah.
So
But
let's do this again, guys.
yeah, we will. We will.
Let's let this settle. Work what you guys can with this, and then
Okay.
let's do a follow up or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good, man. We'll stay in touch.
Can you guys show me what you're gonna before we put it out there?
Oh yeah, and we'll send you after we get off here. We did a little intro.
I already sent it to him.
Oh, you did?
But
Okay.
the sound and stuff needs to be adjusted still, and it needs to be edited a little bit. But at least you get an image of a very brief introduction. Throughout our interview, I might break into some things to explain things that we're talking about and stuff.
And I might be able to help you when you're setting some of that stuff up, like pictures.
Yeah.
Like I might be able to send you a picture and then diagram some stuff.
Okay.
That would be
that
good.
sounds great.
The picture of where the bikes were found.
That would be great.
Maybe we could get a picture of where Seven Bridges is and where the park is.
Yeah.
The map's important, I think, for understanding this crime.
I can kind of circle some stuff and show you. Help
and
you.
we're seriously going to talk about going to Iowa to see you guys, and to spend some time like looking into some of these areas, because the only way we really understood the Delphi case was physically going there and seeing the place, walking on that crime scene and looking at the way things were, and suddenly things make sense.
You got to be able to put it on your head.
And I know a decade has passed, so a lot of things are going to be different, but I think that you're the key here. You're more than willing to help us to understand things, and we greatly appreciate that. So
absolutely,
I appreciate you guys. I'll probably call one of you tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. I'll be off for
decompress.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
I'll be off for 2 days. So or the next.
Yeah, we're gonna work on some of this. She always gets a midweek off.
It's my weekend. My weekend's in the middle of the week. So
what do you do?
I'm a server.
What's that mean?
So I work at this like organic local pizza place here where I make more money doing that than I do using my degree. So it's
isn't that crazy? Like I always look back at my teachers, like, you gotta go to college. And it's like you don't have to go to college. Like I didn't go to college. I didn't want to go to college.
Yeah.
I mean,
you could make a decent living and you don't have to go to college.
I want to do the things that I care about like this in my free time and actually put my attention towards it and not have money involved.
We only get so much time here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we get to do, and it's weird, guys, because I wasn't like, before this, I was just I was going through my life. All I thought about was like what was around me. I didn't get involved in things. I was just existing, Yeah. I have purpose now. As much as I hate to say that, why I have purpose is the most disgusting thing. But at least we have purpose,
I absolutely
and
agree.
it doesn't matter because we're not taking a dime with us.
No, in the end, it's not going to matter.
We got to take our love, and that's it. So
I agree. What?
I say be happy and.
Oh, hold on, Matt's coming back on. Here we go.
Is he had to pee again?
No.
Give this guy some medicine.
He peed his
damn
pants.
phone. I'm using a
next
phone.
Next time we're just gonna put a bag under you and attach it with some duct tape.
We'll get a colostomy
girl,
bag.
You're using a Kleenex now.
Yeah, I'm not snotting under the rug. Moving on up in the world.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Good talking
you,
with you,
Drew.
pal.
All right,
Stay in
guys.
touch,
Good
eh?
night.
We'll talk to
All
you
right, you
tomorrow.
too.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Bye-bye,
Bye.
bud.